Hello everybody. How are we all doing on this beautiful Tuesday evening? My hair's already annoying me and I've only just literally just come on the live stream. How is everybody's evening going? I've got the fan on again in the background, so hopefully it's not too noisy. I don't think it is. I don't think you can ever hear it, but I like to mention it just in case. Kelly, hello, good evening. Warm but good. It does feel like the temperature has just gone back up again. Don't know what it is here in Yorkshire. In West Yorkshire it's 21 it reckons at the moment, but I think that's the coolest it's been for a while, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've been getting myself all ready and then get warm, but yeah, it feels like just this afternoon, just from like 4 o'clock onwards, kind of, maybe it's the humidity that's gone up. Hi Mum, you alright my love? Raven, hiya, Nikki, hello, just finishing dinner, then I'll be with you. Absolutely not a worry at all. What are you having for your dinner? Gwynna, hiya. Lurking today, fair enough. Are you lurking and working? But welcome in, it's lovely to see you again. How is everyone? Like I say, warm but good, hopefully. It's Tuesday Chinese. Oh, stop it. I did have leftover Chinese for lunch though, which you will get to see. Lurking and working. You will get to see my Chinese that I had because I've been vlogging today. So in fact I need to do a little, let me just do a little, I'm going to do a little vlogception now, because I'm going to hold my phone up and here we go. So say hi to the vlog everybody. We are now live on YouTube and I'm doing this kind of vlogception, so I'm having to film on my phone because my camera is being used for the live stream. It's all very confusing, but yeah, just wanted to show a little bit of the live stream once it's up and running from the back end. There we go. So you'll see that little clip in the vlog when it comes out, maybe Thursday. No, it should be out Thursday. I'm filming today and I'm filming tomorrow, because there's just more happening over 2 days. But yeah, Chinese, I had, like I said, I had leftover Chinese, but it wasn't leftover from a takeaway, it was leftover from, Tom made it. Tom made a beautiful belly pork, Chinese style belly pork on Saturday or Sunday, and it was leftovers and it was delicious. And then I had that reheated, obviously heated it well, so it was nice piping hot. And then I had a cucumber salad, so I literally just cut cucumber up into chunks and had it with light soy sauce, dark soy sauce, sesame seeds, chili oil, and a little bit of rice wine vinegar. It was beautiful, really, really good. Made fried rice king prawn thing, so sort of a homemade Chinese. Yes, lovely. Sounds absolutely good. Hi Jill, welcome into the live stream. Just made it back from the gym in time for this. Well done. We were going to go to the gym yesterday and just felt too tired. It's always really hard to get out of the house on a Monday, isn't it? And then we're going on a date night tomorrow, me and Tom. We're going to go and see Odyssey at the cinema. And then Tom's out on Thursday night for a work do. So I think Friday might be the first day we can get to the gym. It's just one of those weeks where things are super busy. Made egg roll in a bowl. I like things that rhyme. I'm a bit of a sucker for a rhyme. Egg roll in a bowl sounds great. It turned out super yummy. Mum's had sausages with mushrooms and onions, roast and mashed potatoes, carrots, cabbage and peas with gravy. My mum's a feeder. My mum absolutely makes the most amazing, like, big, lovely kind of home-cooked, proper Yorkshire meals. And yes, it is a Tuesday, and yes, you are likely to get 2 different types of potatoes at a meal at my mum's. Absolutely banging. The only thing I won't want from that is the mushrooms. Don't like mushrooms. Oh, I am thirsty. So, anyone who is watching this as a video on demand, because I know not everybody can make the live stream, thank you very much for tuning in. Or if this is just like a random video that you've popped in on either live or on demand, then I'm sorry. No, I'm only joking. This is a lovely live stream where me and a number of people who follow the channel and who are writers or creators or just lovely people looking for a community, we hang out every Tuesday evening from 7 till 9 p.m. UK time. And we just chat, we talk loads of different stuff. I mean, at the moment we're talking about dinner, but we talk about all sorts of stuff, books, period dramas, writing, lifestyle, just like friends hanging out in a big group. And then we have these 20-minute focus sessions, which will probably go into the first one. Usually have about kind of 10-15 minutes of chat first, and then we go into the first one. And you can do whatever you want in those 20 minutes. You can read, you can write, you can study. We have people who are crafting, people who are making their dinner, some people are just chilling out and hanging out. Anything goes here. Well, I say anything goes, easy on, steady now. But yeah, within reason, we kind of hang out and chat. So yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way and announce that, because I remember last week I got to the end and then was like wanting to talk about how the live stream works, and I was like, well, if someone's got to the end of a 2-hour live stream, they already know how it works. So just wanted to get that in a little bit early. So I've got a couple of exciting things to talk about, actually. Let me get this book. I've picked up a book. Surprise, surprise, me buying another book. It is called Women in the Land, and it is by Amanda. It's edited by Amanda Caperne, Brian McDonough and Jennifer Aston, so 3 female authors. It is published by Boydell Press, who are in Rochester, New York, but it is it examines the prehistory of gendered property relations in England, focusing on the 400-year period between 1500 and 1900. So I picked this up because I had a really interesting conversation with a legal expert this week. So because my book, some people, especially like close family and close people, so I think some of my members know a little bit more about the book project than kind of regular subscribers, but basically the book that I'm writing has a legal premise. It's how would the world look if this particular law was different, and that's kind of the premise that I'm asking. And so because I don't know a lot about the law, I don't know a lot about well, I know a little bit about like women's position in different time periods because I've written about women's history, but I didn't know much about how the law operates and if there was a change to the law, how it would like impact society and this, that and the other. So I did a bit of Googling and I found a wonderful person called Dr. Daniel Gosling, who works for the National Archives, and I stalked them a little bit on Blue Sky and was like, oh, this person knows a lot about legal history, absolute perfect person. So I sent an email to National Archives and said, would you mind passing on this email to Dr. Gosling and see if he would be available to talk? And so on yesterday morning, we had a lovely conversation. It was about half an hour or so, where I just kind of talked through the project, talked through the book and like the legal side of it, how the law changes in the book, and whether that's realistic. You know, I was saying a lot of the time, I was like, I know we're going to have to suspend reality a little bit. I know we're going to have to suspend reality a little bit. And I think that was me and my nervousness, being like, because I think whenever you are, for me as a writer, I feel like somebody who is a legal historian might think that my project is a bit silly, and that's not a reflection on him at all. He was absolutely lovely. I think that's my own hang up, thinking, well, why would you write a book like that? That's silly. And he wasn't. He was lovely, and so it was really nice to just chat things through. And for the most part, I was actually on the right track with everything. I was actually getting most of the kind of suppositions I'd made, like, oh, let's just assume that this would happen, and how would that happen, were actually on the right track. He was like, yeah, that's not out of the realms of possibility that it would happen that way, or that this would have the impact, and this, that, and the other. And he gave me some really good pointers, which really inspired me in terms of how we would need to make sure that this law change was written and like the details of it. So law changes tend to have like finite boundaries around them. So they would either be like, this law is going to come into effect from this date, or it's going to come into effect for people who are born before or after a certain date. And we'll all know this ourselves from things like pension changes and tax changes and stuff. It's always at a certain date or for people over a certain age that are affected. And he was like, so when you are talking about the law in the book, you'll need to like make sure that those are the parameters you're working around. It was just lovely. It was just really, really nice to chat to somebody about it. And it really kind of got me, I think it helped with some of the imposter syndrome that I was feeling around the book, because I was feeling that I don't know anything about law, and so if I don't know anything about law, what right have I got to be writing a book about it? And actually, it made me realise I don't need to be a legal expert to write a book that has a law change in it. That's fine. Bless you. Tom just sneezed downstairs. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, I don't need to be a legal expert to write a book that just has a law change in it as part of the book narrative. So it's got me really excited. And anyway, he recommended this book, which is Women and the Land. Bless you again. You did hear that, Mum. You did hear him sneeze. Yeah, he recommended this book because he said it's a really good introduction to just understanding a little bit more about like women's position at the time. And the blurb on the back says that actually the book is trying to tell a slightly different story, that not all women throughout history had some women throughout history did have the ability to own property or manage your own fortune or this, that and the other, but they were very specific cases, and so this book actually tells some of those specific cases. So yeah, it was £25, which actually I think for an academic textbook isn't too bad, because textbooks sometimes can be really, really big, really expensive. And he also said that it was quite like kind of easy reading. He didn't say it in a condescending way at all. It was just kind of, academic books sometimes can be really kind of what's the word, like ploddy, I want to say, and really difficult to get through. But he said that this is like quite an interesting read, so I'm really looking forward to reading that at some point. I don't know when I will start it, but yeah, just want to share it with you really. I can let you know what I think of it when I've read a bit more. But it's got a nice feel to it, nice chunky book. So yeah, that was just pop that back over there. That was a conversation that I had this week, which has got me really excited for writing, and I'm really looking forward to doing some writing tonight, because I feel properly like fired up and inspired now. So yes, academic texts sometimes feel like the writers got paid by the syllable. yeah, and when I wrote my books, I wanted them to be, it's called narrative non-fiction, is how I know a few people who've said that their books are narrative non-fiction. I quite like that term. That's why I kind of adopted it for mine, because I want them to be readable, I want them to be enjoyable, and I think sometimes academic texts get quite bogged down in the kind of, what's the word, the academia in a way, I'm trying to think of the word, like the importance of the book and the reputation of the book and that kind of thing, rather than actually the readability and the enjoyability of it. I keep thinking I've got like a bald spot on the top of my head. I haven't. I think it's just the light shining on my head. Yeah, it does sound like a good book, doesn't it, Kelly? I'll let you know what it's like when I've read it. I'm sure it'll be worth it. As a college student, thank you. I want the information not to get bogged down in the text. Yeah, I think it is quite difficult. I found reading like really intense academic texts at university really hard, and I thought that was a reflection on me and my intelligence, and I don't think it is. I think that the best tutors that I remember from university are the ones that were funny, that educated without it being boring, that made things a bit interesting and different and memorable, and kind of I think that's how non-fiction and academic text should be as well. They should make you, you should remember them, and learning should be enjoyable, not just about kind of getting a reputation across, for want of a better term. So yes. But yeah, what's everybody else going to be working on this week? Are you going to be studying? Are you going to be reading? I know Jill might still be reading. Raven, have you properly submitted now? I think you did last week, didn't you? So like, are you doing some writing? You do some writing this week, or are you just going to chill? Actually, that would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think I'm going to. Oh, it's 1:15, isn't it? Shall we go straight in? Shall we just do it? Shall we just get straight into the first session with it being 7:15? Because I'm raring to go. So let me know what you're all doing. Let me know what you're doing in the first session, and I'm just going to jump into it, and then we'll catch up again once we get back to a chatting session. Submitted last week. Yeah, I thought you'd submitted last week, Raven, because we celebrated it, didn't we? Stay schoolwork or novel. Haven't decided. What's more fun? What brings you more joy? I think you should do something that brings you a lot of joy today. Right, I'm going to go into the music and we will have another chat shortly. Right. That was a good session, actually. How much did I write? I don't think I'm writing loads. Oh, actually. She says, I wrote, let me have a look at my word count. 584 words. That's pretty good, actually. I'm pretty happy with that. Let me just put my display, my word count back on. Yeah, that was really good, actually. I'm just writing a scene where my main character is trying to get a supply of something, and her supplier doesn't want to serve her anymore. And so there's a bit of like tension between him being like, I won't serve a woman, and her being like, why are you trying to... He's basically saying that if he wants to serve her and give her the supply, that she has to pay more for it than what her father has paid for it. And she's like, absolutely not, I'm not paying that. And so they have a bit of a tussle. This is the first time where actually my main character is being a bit bolshy and being a bit... not cocky, she's just being firm. She's standing up for herself for the first time, and it's going to be one of those, it's supposed to read as a bit of a rash decision that even the reader's going to be a bit like, oh, is that going to bite her in the bum a bit? But it does all sort itself out. She's going to find a new supplier. It's actually going to be the first opportunity for her to actually show that she's got a really good instinct for the business. So that's what I was writing. I was actually really enjoying it. I like writing weak, like really weak, not very nice characters. They're actually really fun to write because you get to like really kind of get into the nitty gritty of them not being a very nice person. So yeah, I was enjoying that. I originally found your channel through a trip you did to Haworth. Oh, cool. I didn't know that, Jill. I think I did two. I think I've done two Haworth vlogs. I did one with my sister, where we went for her birthday. Me, Tom and Melissa went and we kind of hung out, and that was when I first met Diane at Wave of Nostalgia, and then we got talking about me potentially coming to do an event, and then I did the second vlog was when I went back to Wave of Nostalgia to actually do the writing, the reading, the kind of book event. That was a really cool event actually, and that's how I first met Michael Stewart, who runs the writing group that I am part of. Haven't made it to like the last two sessions. No, last session. I couldn't make it to June's club because I was on holiday, and then I can't make it to this month's either because it's on a Tuesday evening. It's on a night when I live stream, so unfortunately I can't make it to the writing group because I'm live streaming instead. In fact, I don't know if it wasn't tonight. Is it tonight or next week? It's either tonight or next week that it's happening, and sadly I can't make it because I'm live streaming, but hopefully the next one won't be on a Tuesday. I can go to it. But yeah, that's where I first met Michael Stewart, who is part of that group. And so I don't actually know if this person's messaging me back now, but there's somebody who was on that writing course with me, who I don't know if has she seen the message I sent. Yes, no, wrong person. I am going to explain to you in a minute. Oh yeah, she has seen it on Sunday. I might message her again. Basically, the person who did the writing course with me, when I did it over the autumn last year, is in Australia. He's based in Australia, and she was part of the group, and it was amazing having her from so far away. She's actually in England at the moment. She's in England this week, and she's going to Haworth. And we were going to meet up on Saturday in Haworth. And unfortunately it's just not worked out. I've got another friend, we're having an event with another friend on Saturday, and I've totally forgotten about it. That friend's just lost a dad. I don't want to rearrange it because I want to be there for my friend, but also I'm like, I really want to see this person who's come all the way. She hasn't come over from Australia to see me. She was coming over from Australia anyway, and said if I was available it would be really cool to meet up. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see her, which is really gutting. But yeah, I think funny how all these like little Haworth moments kind of kind of come around, isn't it? Really well done. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. We just had one of the first sprints, Nikki. The 20-minute one from 15:15 until 25 to, which was actually quite productive for me. I think it was good. I'm feeling in an inspired place at the moment, which is really exciting. My overall word count now is up to 21,000 words, and I'm currently writing chapter 9 at the moment. So It's actually, it feels like there's a little bit of magic back in the project. When I first started writing it, it felt like there was something, there was a little spark in it. And then just over the last couple of months, I think I got in my own head about it a little bit. And I'm feeling a little bit of the magic back after having spoken to that legal historian and kind of doing the plotting out that I'd done not last weekend, the weekend before. It's feeling a bit more fleshed out. It's feeling a bit exciting. Yeah. Oh god, my hair's annoying me. What's everybody else writing? Does anybody want to share what they're writing at the moment, the projects that you're working on? You don't have to share a lot. Obviously, I know I don't share everything about mine at the moment, so I certainly don't expect everyone else to share everything about theirs. But is it a fiction book, non-fiction? Is it what genre is it? I think Nikki, was it you that told me that you were writing or was it Raven, writing like a fantasy historical fiction one? Sorry, I'm trying to remember. I need to write this bit down as well. She told me again so that I can remember. But yeah, let me know what everybody's working on. I'm just about to finish reading The Magician by Raymond D. Feist. That's what I've been reading this week. Tom's favourite book from childhood, so he wanted me to read it, and I've really enjoyed it actually. It's been a bit, it's taken a bit of getting into, and I think because I've had other priorities as well in terms of reading over the last few weeks, it's been a bit chop and change. I've had to like put it down and pick it back up again and stuff. But I am really looking forward to reading the next in the series. I need to find out what the next one is actually. The Magician series, Raymond E. Feist. We were talking about fantasy last time, weren't we? I do have that list of fantasy books that everybody was recommending last time, so I will work my way through that at some point. 2 projects, 1 gas lamp fantasy. Ooh, what does gas lamp fantasy mean? I've not heard that before. The other is somewhat spicy urban fantasy military fiction type story under pen name. I like the sound of that as well. A spicy urban fantasy military fiction. That's ace. That's such a good way of describing like a project. I think mine's going to be a little bit. There's going to be a little. I suppose it's not necessarily going to be spicy. I think it's going to be a bit of romance in it. Is mine. I want it to be quite a bit of yearning in it. Developing a fantasy-inspired Tudor. That was it. Tudor England called Winter's Air. But I'm currently working on a very old manuscript that I've never quite fallen out of love with. Yeah, I remember you saying I was going to say Tudor fantasy, but I didn't want to get it wrong, so I doubted myself. But yeah, I remember you talking about that. How are they both going, Nikki and Raven? How are your projects going? Gaslamp fantasy is kind of like steampunk, but with magic instead of science. Oh right, okay. So like magic, but like the steampunk kind of aesthetic. Is that it? That sounds really cool. I like that. I guess, yeah, a bit like Victoriana style aesthetic. Oh god, I'm going to cough. Sorry. Yeah, that sounds really cool. It's a very modern take on vampires. Is this the old book that you've never fallen out with? Is a very modern take on vampires. I'd like to see somebody do something new with vampires. Actually, I didn't watch Sinners. Has anybody seen the film Sinners with Michael B. Jordan? I haven't seen that, but I've heard it's very good, and that's got vampires in, hasn't it? But I don't think it was. Tom was saying he watched it and he thought he would have liked it to be a bit more of an original take on vampires, and it was a bit more kind of what everybody else does with vampires. Something like that, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with the game Bloodborne, but it has the right general aesthetic. Oh, I'm not. Let me just Google Bloodborne images. Oh, right, okay, yeah. I see. I like stuff like that. I like that aesthetic. Nice. I'm having an absolute blast finding ways to include vampires and werewolves in a modern setting. But I bet that's so cool. I bet that's so funny, like, just trying to, like, yeah, slot them in. Are you happy to give us like a little example, cheeky example of one? No worries if you don't want to. That's absolutely fine. What would I do? I like the idea of like magical creatures or like really unusual creatures doing like very ordinary things. You know, like when you see celebrities on the tube. So like, would you see a vampire on the tube, or like a vampire buying tampons from Boots? Something really, really kind of like normal like that would be absolutely hilarious. I really enjoyed Sinners, but then I adore Jack O'Connell since Skins. I need to watch it. I do want to watch Sinners because even Tom said he was like, I think he'd really enjoy it. But I haven't. I'm not very good at. I'm not very good at watching films at the moment. We've just started like a movie night in our house, so we do it every fortnight, and we watch a film together that neither of us have seen before. So the first one we did, we watched Project Hail Mary. Absolutely loved that. Loved that. I think I mentioned that last week. Loved Project Hail Mary. And then this weekend we were going to watch Devil Wears Prada, you know, the new one, the second one, because Tom loves the first Devil Wears Prada film. I mean, I love it as well, but Tom loves the first Devil Wears Prada. But it was £15 to rent on Amazon Prime, so decided not to. Too cheap. And we didn't. So, but Tom's seen Sinners, so we can't put Sinners onto the list of things that we will watch together. But that's funny. What was funny? The vampires buying tampons in Boots. Let's have them do normal stuff. A vampire buying a Happy Meal in McDonald's. There's loads of stuff you could do. Taking their library books back to the library and then getting a fine because they haven't brought them back early enough and being like, oh, I am a vampire. Why am I paying a fine at the local library? Like that would be absolutely hilarious. I'm trying to find the list of the Magician series books. The series, here we go. Magician. Oh, so there's 3 in the Rift War saga. If you want to know the order to read, best the reading order page. Right. Oh, there's nothing on the reading order page. It's recommended you to read the books in the order they are written. This is normally the order in which they are published. I'm very confused. Anyway, I don't really need to do this on a live stream, do I? Looking on the internet for a list of books. There's 3 books in the Rift War saga. Silverthorn is the next one after The Magician, a sequel to The Magician. So I'll probably read that one next. It's centred around an enemies to lovers story with a lot of dismantling systemic prejudices, etc. I'm not really explaining it well, but I'm really excited to be back in a world I know and love. No, I think you're explaining it well. I like the idea of dismantling systemic prejudices. I love that. That feels like a real buzz sentence as well to put in like a proposal to a publisher. Like that's exactly what I should imagine publishers are looking for at the moment. Books that really are of the time, make people think about where we are at the moment. So, yeah, sounds great. Sounds really, really good. Oh gosh, it's 10 to 8. Shall we do another session? Another sprint, as Nikki calls them. I like that. I need to remember to call them sprints. Shall we do another one? We'll do another 20 minutes and we'll come back at 10 past 8 and we'll have another chat. I'll let you know how I've got on. Sorry, I know the music had stopped. I was just getting to the end of my sentence. I need to do another session. We need to do one more writing session because I've got to like a natural stopping point and don't want to stop tonight at a natural stopping point. I want to stop in the middle of a scene because I find that easier to jump back into when I finish. I have a question if it's okay to pose to the chat. Go for it. I've always written first person past tense, but after getting regular feedback that it kills the tension, it's sounding like a story being retold apparently suggests that it's done. It's sounding like a story being retold apparently suggests that it's done and therefore threats are gone. I'm trying my hand at first person present, but it feels like I'm writing in a voice not my own. Has anyone tried changing a distinct part of their writing style or voice, and did they find it worked, or did they go back to what they're used to? I'm not hating it, but I'm finding it very weird to read back through. Such a good question. And honestly, if anybody's ever got questions like this, definitely put them in the chat because we can all kind of feedback and we can have a talk about it. This is really interesting because I switched the way that I was writing. So my first book, the Lighthouse book that I abandoned, well, I finished and then I've put to one side, that was in first person, no, is it third person past tense? Like he said, she said, this, that and the other. That's how I'd written it. And it felt weird, and I was always thinking, do I need to change the entire story into first person narrative? And I never did, I think because I didn't like the story itself enough. When I came to writing this one, I started writing it in the present, in the first person present tense. You know, I say, I am doing this, I am going, and I know, and the reason that I did that is that I noticed that a lot of my favourite historical fiction books that I read wrote in the first person present tense, and I don't know if that's something about like the immediacy of it. I noticed that a lot of fantasy novels, like romantasy books, were writing in the first person, and so I was like, right, I'm going to give it a go, and I really like it for this project that I'm working on. The really funny thing is that I actually tried changing it. I did an example. I kind of copied the whole project over, did a duplicate project, and then I changed some of it. I think I changed like the first chapter into first person past tense. Didn't work at all. It just didn't work. It didn't feel the same. It didn't feel immersive. I hated it from the moment that I started writing it in the past tense, and I was like, right, well, that answers my question for me then. So I think maybe try that if you're struggling, if you're thinking that the first person present doesn't somehow feel right. Maybe try taking like a paragraph or a chapter or something. Just try, a bit like a writing exercise in many ways, just try writing it in a different tense and see if it feels any better. I think the whole thing of like feels like you're writing in a voice that's not your own, I think that's a good thing. Maybe is that a good thing? Because if it's not you, you're not writing about you. So when you say my legs, so I've got one bit where her legs feel weak. She's like, my legs suddenly feel weak. She doesn't say those words, but the description is my legs suddenly feel as soft as milk curds. It's not my legs. You know, you're talking about the characters. I think if there's some separation, but then again, the other side of that, what you might mean by my voice is that your distinctive writing style, you don't feel like you're writing in your style, your voice, your way. So maybe it's about looking at some of the other stuff that you've written and trying to identify what it is about that past tense that is your voice. You know, is it the length of the description? Is it the way that you write the dialogue? Is it the dialogue more pithy and more kind of choppy? Maybe try and like assess your own work in terms of like the style, not the narrative, not the structure, and see if that helps. Raven says, I wrote a short story where the main bits were in first person past tense and all the flashbacks were in first person present tense. Do what your story needs. Yeah, play around with it. I don't usually write in first person at all. Yeah, I mean, I've never written in first person before this book, but something about it, you just know when you hit it right, when it feels right, it just kind of feels right. You can't really explain it. For context, I don't read first person as I just don't connect to it, which is why I write in first. I don't read first person, don't connect to it, which is why I write in first. I find it more immersive. I'm a bit confused there. Do you mean you don't read in third, or you don't? I find it more immersive, so theoretically this should boost it, but it's a very strange experience. Yeah, the only POV I have a lot of trouble with reading and writing is second person POV. You do this, you think this. The author will inevitably lose me because immersion will break. Yeah, I don't like second person. When I started, I wrote in third person, but when I moved over to first, it felt like coming home. I guess I'm unnerved by the fact this isn't the same experience, if that makes sense. I've always felt the same. The only time I found that didn't happen was a friend's semi-autobiographical account of training as a barrister, second POV, and it totally drew me in. So I'm getting a little bit confused with the different tenses and the different persons. So I don't read in third person. I'm thinking faster than I'm typing. That's fair enough. I'm like that. I think faster than I type. So you don't read in third person. Third person is he, she, said, isn't it? Yeah. So you are more used to reading in the first person. So if your book is in the first person, then does that mean... What is it about it that doesn't feel like it's working at the moment? If that's what you're used to reading, is there something about the books that you read that are in first person? Maybe, again, pick out your favourite, one where you know the story, you've read the story multiple times, so you know how it works, and try and identify in, say, one chapter what it is about the way that person is writing the first person that is really enticing you in. Is it how much description of the scene they're putting in? Is it the pace of the dialogue? Is it the characterization? And then try and see how that relates or how that compares to your own. Every project is different, and every path through the metaphorical jungle is going to be different. Absolutely. And what, I've said this before on a live stream before, any advice that somebody gives in in a session like this, or in a writing group, the meaning behind the advice is usually right, the kind of the well-meaning behind it, but the actual you should do this doesn't always have to be. It can be anything that only you can find the best way to navigate through your project. But yeah, it's a really interesting one. Like I say, I've tried it in two different ways. I tried third person for this book, and now I've come back to first person. It just feels like it flows better for me. There are some things that I'm finding a little tricky though, because I want my main character, my main female character, and her love interest. I want us as the reader to be able to see my male love interest kind of yearning for her. But if I'm writing from her perspective, she's got to see it to be able to narrate it, right? So what I need to do is I'm going to go back and look at, not necessarily right now, I'll do it later, go back and look at some of the romantasy books, some of the romance novels that are written in first person, and find out how they convey the kind of yearning and the male perspective when you've written the book purely from the female perspective. That's what I need to do. I read and write in I POV rather than she or Emma, for example. Yeah, I found I get immersed in the story when it's first person. I think I need to get out of my own head. I'm also very out of practice in drafting a manuscript, so that might also be a factor here. Yeah. So if you read and write in... Hold on, let me go back. I need to go back to the original question. I've always written first person, past tense. I'm trying my hand at first person present. So would it be, rather than I thought or I assumed or I went here, it's more I am going here. So I am a vampire. I am going to Boots to pick up my tampons. That kind of thing. So it's the present versus past tense rather than the I that you're struggling with. Is that right? Have I got that right? Yeah, I can see that actually in some ways being harder to kind of figure out than the going from a first person to a third person, because it's very... I mean, I find myself doing it quite often when I'm writing. I'll slip into a past tense and I'm like, oh gosh, no, I don't want to be past tense, I want to be present tense. Is there an argument here for just getting the story down and coming back to tighten up the tense as you go? What do you find really kind of like fires you up about the project? Is it getting those bits right? Is it when you feel like you've got something like that clicked and you're like, right, I know exactly how I want to write it, I feel good about it? Does that get you fired up and inspired? Or is it just being able to get the story out and really immerse yourself in the story and not worry about the language, which gets you kind of more inspired? Because that was the route that I would suggest to kind of go for, something that feels the most inspirational at the moment. Writing this in first person, I think it's the present tense that's tripping me up, honestly. Yeah, that's what I thought. See, I'm not even entirely sure of that. I don't seem to have the language for it. So it is tricky. I'm trying to think of a way to. So what is it that you're not entirely sure of? When I say you're not entirely sure of that, is that what I'm saying about which fires you up, the kind of the writing or the narrative or the, yeah. I mean, if you think back to a time when you felt really in the zone, what was it about that moment that was in the zone? Can that help to kind of identify? Basically, I wrote a scene that came to me and it came out in first person. When I showed it to people, they said it fixed that distance that past tense can cause. I mean, it kind of depends. I mean, yeah, just write the story and don't consider the tense right now, I would say. I mean, sometimes past tense does that. It creates a bit of distance. Sometimes you want distance. Is that something that you want to write into it? How has this character come to be telling this story? It makes me think a lot of first person past tense stories, they make me think of like Victorian and early 20th century books where you would get a narrator who would start the book off being like, I first knew this character when I was at Oxford and blah, 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 blah. And they'd start to kind of give you some backstory and then it would go into the story that they're going to tell. Is there something like that you can do? Is there a... I don't know the premise, I know the premise of the book, sorry, I don't know the structure and the plot of the book. But could you lean more into that? Lean into the fact that it's first person past tense. I think that sometimes can really add tension to the narrative, especially if they're unreliable. If you've got an unreliable narrator who is talking the first person past tense, and I'm thinking of Yesteryear that I've just read by Cara Claire Burke. That's first person, but is that first person past tense or present tense? Oh gosh, let me just Google it. Yesteryear, first person past or present tense. Yesteryear is a noun, not a verb or a pronoun. Thanks, Google. Yesteryear, book written in. Yesteryear utilises both tenses depending on which timeline the chapter is focused on. So the book's narrative alternates between two different perspectives. The present timeline is written in the first person point of view, and in present tense, the backstory is first person point of view and past tense. So that's an interesting one. It's, again, because Natalie, the main character, is so unreliable, it kind of leans into that, and it helps with building that tension in her reliability as a narrator. So that's something that you could consider, whether you can do that. Now wondering. I think because a lot of it is threat and risk and danger, the feedback I've got is that the tense made them feel I was telling the story after the fact, so the characters were immediate. Right. I mean, when I think about books, there are books that are written in first person past tense that I think are fine. Just bear with me a second while I Google something. Yeah, so Frankenstein by Mary Shelley is written in the past tense. It's a first person point of view in the past tense. And I would say that Frankenstein has lots of tension. It has lots of risk and danger. The story is quite intense at times. That's what I was thinking. I don't know why that particular example came to mind, but it did. That's what I was thinking of when you were saying it's not immediate. I would say that Frankenstein feels immediate when you're in the middle of the book as well. Maybe at the beginning, when you're aware that there's been a narrator and they're going to tell you a story and this, that, and the other, you're very kind of aware of how things go. But then I think as the pace of the novel changes, then you kind of miss the tense. And this is the sign of a really good book, is that you actually forget about the tense, you forget about the narrator, you forget about what's happening, you're kind of dragged into the story. So again, I don't think it's really a problem. I think it's something that I think it'll be fine. I have multiple POVs but all on the same timeline. Again, fine. I'm not sure I agree with that assessment of past tense. I don't feel that distance. Yes, see, Raven agrees as well. You know, it's fine. It could just be my writing. I don't necessarily think it's your writing. I think maybe it's the feedback that you've got. The feedback was from people whose opinion I respect as writers themselves. Otherwise, I won't put too much weight on it. The thing is, and again, this comes back to what Michael Stewart said to me in my writing group, is that if they're telling you that the vibe is off, that they're telling you that something isn't working in terms of the immediacy, that is something to think about. That is something to listen to. But I think the fact that they are telling you to change the tense, I don't think necessarily is correct. I think what they're saying at the moment is something doesn't quite feel right. And that might be that you need to increase the pacing. It might be that the dialogue needs to be a bit faster. But I think at the moment, for where you are, that is definitely something you can tighten up in an edit. And I think at the moment, if you're writing it like these scenes for the first time, it's more important to get the plot down and to get it kind of written out. Those are things that you can kind of tighten up as you go. And maybe, you know, are these people, are they writers? Are they also your target audience for readers? Because I think that's a really big distinction. Like, my target audience readers aren't necessarily the people who are in my writing group. A lot of the people in my writing group are writing completely different books to what I'm writing. And so I think it's important maybe at this point, maybe see if you've got, like, you can get someone who's like a bit of a beta reader, who can just read through a couple of sections, a few chapters, and let you know what you think. Like, I use my mother-in-law, Alison, who is, she reads the same books as me. She reads the same historical fiction books that I read, and so she is my absolute target audience. So she's already read some of my book, even though I'm only on chapter 9, even though I'm not nowhere near finished and would want to hand it out to, like, proper beta readers. She at this point is reading it because I just want to know from her point of view. So finding, like, one person who you really trust with the book at this point, who could read through it and give you some honest but like really helpful advice, I think would be really good at this point. I don't necessarily think you're overthinking it. And I like Raven's suggestion of write the story. Oh, actually, Raven's saying don't show it to anyone else until you have a finished draft. As someone who gets up in their own head, that helped me. I mean, at this point, find the best way of doing it for you. I really liked having at least one person read it. I'm not going to hand it out to loads of people. But for me, Alison, I trust Alison. I know that she gets what I'm trying to write because she reads what I read. And she's honest. She'll tell me if something isn't quite working. So yeah, that for me, that works really great. Stephen King had a whole thing about feedbacking on writing. Absolutely brilliant book. I've literally got it in front of me. Where is it? It's here somewhere. There. 1 second. Stephen King on writing. Absolutely brilliant book. A memoir of the craft. Highly, highly recommend it. It's an excellent book. Really good for reading if you are wanting to write. Yeah, definitely. I normally wouldn't worry, but when you consistently get the same feedback, it's hard to ignore. Like I say, I think the vibe maybe is what they're getting at the moment, but I don't think you need to take their exact "this is what you need to do" on board. One is very prolifically published thriller writer, the other writes beautifully and reads widely. I'm not sure my Stries would really be something they would willingly pick out, though. I'm not sure what that means, my strides. I think most feedback falls under two categories, problems or preferences. The trick is learning which one a piece of feedback is. That is such a good point. Yes, that is amazing. I absolutely 100%. My husband's an avid reader of my biggest champion. He's always loved my voice, so perhaps I just write it, get him to read it, and use him as a bit of a beta reader. 100%. 100%. If your husband is willing to do that and is happy to do that, then absolutely get him to read it. The only thing you need to say is that he needs to be brutally honest with you, because you don't want someone who's just be like, oh yeah, it's great, I love it. Like, you need someone who's going to be like, I really like it, this little thing is not quite right, or yeah, just a couple of little sense check type things. Sorry, I should have said stories. Not sure my stories would really be something they would willingly pick out, though. Yeah, again, like Raven says, problems or preferences. I think that's a really, really good point. Anne Lamott's Bird by Bird. Not heard of that. Anne Lamott, Bird by Bird. Instructions on writing and life. There you go. I mean, I do think there's an awful lot of books out there about writing, and I think you can get lost in everybody's advice. I think trying to stay true to just what feels right for you, just trying to be as intuitive as you can in what I mean, at the end of the day, writing is something that should be fun. It's something that you should enjoy. It's something that you should find immersive, and if that right now means first person past tense, then go for it. Just go for it and do it, enjoy it, like, and just get the story down. And then you can look at other things in the edit. You can read Stephen King's on writing. You can think about things a bit more once you've got it all down. Yeah. Right, it is 25 to 9. Shall we go into our last session? Because, like I said, I want to get the next little bit of this chapter written out, and then I can stop in the middle of a scene. If I had to pick out just one book, though, on writing is the one I'd go with. The way King frames his advice is really easy to adapt to your own stuff. Yeah, and I like the fact that it's a little bit of like a memoir as well as helpful advice. Like, it's really nice to read kind of his kind of story and his inspirations, and yeah, it's really lovely. I definitely recommend it as well. Right, let's go into the last session, and then we'll be back for our final little chat at the end. Can't believe it's nearly 2 hours already. It's gone so fast. Sorry. Sorry, I was just trying to work out. I was trying to work out how far away I need to put a place. Right, I've got my main character. She needs to go somewhere to go and speak to someone, but I want her to be able to go there and come all the way back, kind of in a long day. So she's setting off kind of mid-morning. Then it's going to be, is it mid-morning or, hold on, I think is it the morning? Hold the phone. I don't think it actually says, so I need to say that. I need to say that it's early in the morning. Bear with me just 1 second. Right, there we go. I've just added in a line about the fact that it's morning, because I don't think I'd put anything. So I want it to be kind of early morning when she writes to someone. So she writes to someone, that person comes back less than 2 hours after sending the letter, he's back. So if she's written the letter at like, say, 7, 8 a.m. It's me 10 a.m. when he comes. Be about 10:30 when she sets off somewhere. I mean, and time's different in the 17th century, so it's a bit different anyway. And then, so assuming she sets off, it needs to be, I kind of want it to be about 4 hours away. And then she's got to do her business at this place, and then she's got to ride all the way back. So kind of want it to be like getting a bit dark, this, that, and the other when she gets back. Nothing's going to happen to her on this journey necessarily. She's not going to meet any dodgy ends or anything like that. But I just want it to be quite a long journey and a little bit reckless, at the point that it's like something could have happened, but it didn't. So Kitty twice in one stream. I feel like he's been around a lot actually in today's live stream, which is nice. And you can actually see his face instead of seeing his bum, which is what normally happens when he gets in his bed. Yeah, so you've had him. He came up on. He went up in the window earlier on in the stream. Then he came and laid on the desk, and now he's in his little bed. His new bed. We had to buy him a new bed because he weed on the other one. Not at home. He did it at the cattery when he was at the cattery. So that's his new bed, which actually looks massive on the live stream. But I was a bit worried it wasn't going to be big enough for him. But he seems to be taking to it okay. Oh dear me. Oh, Gwenna's back. Popping back in to say cute kitty. 1,000 words today, and I hit my writing goal. Thanks for hosting. You are very welcome. Congratulations on hitting your goal. That's amazing. Really, really good. Absolutely fantastic. Glad to hear that it was helpful, Gwenna. Really glad. What have I done actually in today's session? Because I think I've written quite a lot as well. I have written 1,305 words. I am thrilled with that. Absolutely thrilled with that. That's a good amount of words for me in a couple of hours. So really, really happy with what I've written. What's he doing? His little sniffy nose. I did a couple of different tasks during the stream, but I've done 610 words so far. That's amazing as well. Really good. Look at how productive we've all been. That's 8. Really, really good session for us all. Fantastic. Oh gosh, no. Now the sleepiness is hitting me. Crikey, it's 1 minute past 9. We're over time. So, shall we wrap it up? Thank you everybody for coming along again to another lovely stream. It's been excellent. Time just seems to fly. It honestly really does. And sometimes I think, shall I do another hour? Shall I make it like 7 till 10? But I think that'd be a bit too much. I think it's nice to do it as just a focused couple of hours. We get his head down, we do 3 nice writing sessions, and then, you know, it's kind of, we've done it and we've enjoyed it. And I need to, need to stop overdoing it. But yeah, no, I've really, really enjoyed it. I hope everybody else has. To everybody who's been lurking and working, as Gwynna says, I hope you've had a good stream and you've enjoyed kind of just kind of listening in and doing what you do, whatever you've been doing. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks all. I got quite a bit read and enjoyed the company as always. Thank you, Kelly. And Kayla's in. Hi, Kayla. Thank you for the little heart. Don't forget you can like the stream and you can hype it. If you're watching on mobile, you can use the hype feature. Again, still don't really know what it does. I think it just proves to YouTube that my content is okay. So yeah, please do like the stream if you can and hype it up. That would be amazing. And I think that's all I've really got to say. I've just really enjoyed tonight. I've found it really inspiring and I've really enjoyed writing, which is so nice because for all of the weeks when it's really hard to get words down on the page, it's been really nice for it to feel like it's flowing tonight. So again, thank you. I've really enjoyed your company. I've loved chatting with everybody, as always. So thank you again. And yeah, I will see you next week. So next week is the last one before I have a break. I'm just having... oh, no, it's not. I'm lying to you all. We've got next week, the 28th of July. We've got the 4th of August. And then the 11th of August, I'm having a week off. So we've got another couple of weeks before I have a week off for my in-laws coming to stay. So yeah, I'll see you next week on the 28th. Have a fab one. I will get off now. And I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.